They say men are lost, that masculinity is in crisis, that boys are growing into men with no maps, no rights, and no elders to guide them. But what if the map was never lost, only buried? Welcome to Growth and Development. Today, we dig beneath the noise of modern culture and return to the wisdom of our ancestors, to the roots of African masculinity. This isn't about nostalgia, it's about reclamation. Because in a world of soft lies and hard consequences, the ancient warrior still lives, not in violence, but in values, not in domination, but in discipline. Let's begin to uncover what the modern man can learn from ancient African traditions, and why reclaiming these roots might be the key to a healthier, more powerful masculinity. Look around. Men are drowning in quiet desperation. We see it in rising rates of male depression, in the isolation of screen addiction, and the epidemic of uninitiated boys trapped in adult bodies. They're angry, confused, and disconnected. But what caused this? Modern culture told men to abandon their instincts, suppress their strength, and trade legacy for likes. But you can't amputate the soul of a man and expect him to smile through it. When society erased initiation, it left men with imitation, fake status, fake brotherhood, fake strength. And here's the catch. Nature abhors a vacuum. When true masculine guidance is gone, men fill that void with anything they can, often to their own demise. But ancient African cultures have a different answer. One that doesn't fear masculinity, it forges it. Across the African continent, from the Xhosa in South Africa to the Maasai in Kenya, boys do not become men through age. They become men through initiation. Rites of passage are not symbolic. They are transformation itself. These rituals often include solitude, survival, fasting, and circumcision, not to inflict harm, but to awaken resilience. Elders carefully watched over these initiates, guiding them through the trial with both discipline and love. And what was the purpose? To kill the boy and resurrect the man, to awaken the man. You see, you don't get initiated to feel powerful. You get initiated to understand power, particularly masculine power, and how to control it. That's the part modern culture misses. Western culture doesn't get this part right. We glorify rebellion, but disrespect discipline. We praise independence, but forget initiation builds interdependence with your tribe, with your ancestors, and with your own inner code. And without that fire, we remain boys in men's clothes, searching for something to make us feel alive. True African masculinity is never just about brute force. The warrior is not a wild beast. He is intelligent, he is a protector, a servant, and most importantly, a moral compass. From the Dogon to the Asante, warriors follow codes. These codes demand restraint over rage, honor over ego, and service over status. A man's strength is not measured by how loud he roars, but by how well he controlled the storm within. Think about that for a second. You are not strong because you dominate, you are strong because you don't need to. The warrior archetype in Africa always includes the spiritual, because to wield power without wisdom is to destroy what you were born to protect. So where's that code today? Buried beneath hashtags, headlines, and hollow masculinity influences. But it's not lost. It lives in us, dormant and waiting. As we discussed in our previous video, Ubuntu Stoicism, no man becomes himself alone. And in traditional African societies, Brotherhood isn't optional, it's essential. You see, as far as masculinity is concerned, brotherhood is your mirror. It's your correction and your protection. Men learn through other men, in the field, in the forge, around the fire, everywhere. And here's the thing, mentorship isn't a buzzword, it's survival. And the truth that modern men often ignore is that isolation is weakness disguised as strength. Now, our ancestors knew that a warrior without a tribe is just a target, because you need accountability, you need community, you need men who call you higher to be better, not just cheer you on and hold your hand. But today's man is taught to isolate, suppress, and suffer in silence. And that's not stoicism, that's starvation. Reclaiming masculinity means reclaiming brotherhood. We rise together or we don't rise at all. It is important to remember that most of the ancient African cultures that we reference are not dead. They still exist. And in ancient African culture, as we mentioned, masculinity was never purely physical. It's also spiritual. And it's rooted in the understanding that man is a part of a larger cosmic dance and cosmic force. From the Yoruba concept of Ori, which is the seat of our mental divinity and destiny, to the Akan concept of Sun Sun, which is the principle of spiritual energy and spiritual force and spiritual power. African masculinity is anchored in something deeper than muscle. It's anchored in meaning. You see, you don't just ask, what do I want to do? You ask, what was I born to do? What is my purpose on this planet? And we are taught through initiation and divination what that is. Now, this spiritual awareness creates humility, not hubris. And it reminds us that power comes with purpose, and that real strength begins with surrender. The initiated man doesn't worship himself. He honored his ancestors. He lives for legacy, and he walks with reverence. Can you say the same? So what does this mean for the modern man? It means you don't have to choose between tradition and modernity. You can walk with both feet. You can use technology. You can lead in business. You can adapt and thrive in a changing world. But do it rooted in something older than the algorithm. Practice discipline, not just ambition. Seek mentorship, not just metrics. Build brotherhood, not just brands. Honor your ancestors and not just your image. Reclaiming African masculinity isn't about going backwards. It's about going deeper. Because when the wind of culture shifts, the rooted tree will still stand. So the question is, what are you rooted in? But what if the village is gone? No elders, no fire circle, no carved staff passed from hand to hand. Does that mean the rite is lost forever? No. It means the burden of initiation now falls on us. If you were never initiated, it becomes your responsibility to initiate, starting with yourself, but not ending there. You see, masculinity was never forged in isolation. It was tempered in the heat of brotherhood. No man crowned himself. Other men did that, through challenge, through truth, through love. So let's be clear. You don't need a hut in the forest to be initiated, but you do need men who will look you in the eye and say, I see you, but I won't let you stay small. I hear you, but I will tell you the truth. And see, the blueprint for a new rite begins with the circle, creating space where men come together with intention, not posturing, no masks, just truth. Then comes the mirror. Each man must be willing to confront himself and be confronted by others. What are you avoiding? What pain do you carry? What dream are you afraid to chase? You see, this isn't about therapy. This is initiation. And you do not go through it alone. You walk through this fire with brothers. You hold space for their wounds, and they hold space for yours. Next comes the ordeal. Not one defined by culture, one defined by character. Design a test together, a shared fast, for example, or a silent retreat, a vow of discipline, a wilderness journey. But it must be hard, and it must be sacred. And it must be done collectively, not to prove manhood, but to transform into it. This is something that we would want for our sons and our young men before they try to face the struggles and challenges of manhood. Let them walk through this and step into manhood prepared. Now, this also requires a new kind of elderhood. When the rite is complete, you're not just changed, you're obligated to guide others, to lead circles of your own, and to become the elder you never had. This is how we rebuild. Not through viral clips or self-help jargon, but through sweat, silence, story, and sacred struggle, collectively. So if you're waiting for permission, this is it. Call your brothers, form the circle, set the fire. If the old ways are lost, we don't mourn them, we revive them. Masculinity is not toxic, but it can be lost, it can be forgotten, and it can be misused. Our job isn't to reject masculinity, it's to refine it. And the blueprint already exists, buried in African soil, sung in ancestral memory, waiting in your blood. You are not alone. You come from warriors, from initiates, from men who faced the fire and walked out transformed. So light your own fire, gather your brothers, walk your path with honor. And remember, modern warriors don't need to be invented, they need to be remembered. This is growth and development. Please subscribe for more, and let's continue this journey together.